Hi everybody and welcome to Lost Genre Reddit Stories. On this video there's a post from Relationship Advice with 2 updates and 1 from Bridezilla. So if you want to go ahead and get started with the stories, just use the timestamps below the video. I'd also like to give a big shout out to all my supporters and the new members that have been coming in. It makes a huge difference and it really means a lot to me, so thank you very much. Now let's get started with the first story. This post is from the subreddit Relationship Advice, and it's by user Throwaway Red Question. Should I, 25 male, tell my friend's 28 female fiance we were hooking up? They just got engaged and pregnant. Supposedly, they split up last year during COVID lockdown because he was gonna be spending an unspecified amount of time out of state with his family. She told me they broke up because they didn't want to do long distance. And after that, we were hanging out at my place to keep each other company. I've always been attracted to her, so I didn't mind all the time we were spending together. Well, one night we smoked a joint and got handsy and flirty. I've wanted that for a long time, so we went to my bed and had sex. From there on, we effed like rabbits, basically all the time during the lockdown. The thing is, a couple of months ago, she tells me he came back to our state and they decided to get back together as a couple, so we needed to end our thing. It sucked, and I was sad because I did like her a lot, but that's how it goes sometimes. Last week, I heard they decided to get engaged. He proposed to her when she found out she's pregnant. It was never my intention to ever tell him I was sleeping with her because they were broken up. Also, I'm not really friends with him, we just see each other sometimes. But I'm learning now that they never were broken up, at least according to him. He told me they were doing a long distance relationship and he's happy they managed to stay strong. Just to double check, I got confirmation that they agreed they wouldn't be open to anyone else. He thinks she was faithful to him that whole time. Now they are engaged, about to have a baby. It's a lot happening and I'm not sure if I should tell him she was cheating on him. This could be effing up a future family and all. At the time, I'd wanna know. But what if he prefers not to? I don't know. I'm lost at what I should do. Should I tell him? Opie, I think you should tell him because he's about to marry somebody who lies and cheats. She lied to you and to him, and when he came back and she found out she's pregnant, she wants him back. But in reality, they were always together. Now, what happens if he truly would never want to know if she cheated? There's no way that you could know this, and if you ask him if he'd like to know if she cheated, then that's basically the same as telling him that she did it. Or at least give him pause. This guy that is not your friend is about to marry somebody that you know for a fact cheated on him. I'd say the least you could do is tell him that you were involved with her. And as a side note, the timing between them getting back together and her pregnancy is a little tight because you were also in the mix there. So are you sure that's not your kid that she's having and she's pinning it on him? I believe that's something that you should definitely clear up. What do you guys think? What kind of advice would you give OP? Let me know in the comment section, and now let's move on to the community comments to see what they had to say. K14 Deploy says, "You're going to have to tell him. There will be backlash, there will be hard feelings, there might even be a need for restraining orders if things go really sideways, but it has to be done, for no other reason because it's the right thing to do." He thought they were long distance relationship the whole time. She probably knew this or was under the impression that they were over. She told you they were no longer a thing. You believed her, you didn't have any reason not to at the time. I'm just stating a fact. Lots of things can be said in hindsight, but this 100% is not your fault. When they got back together, the pregnancy was discovered. You can't have him raising a child that might not even be his. That's not fair on him as a human being, let alone a father. Also, get a paternity test to make absolutely sure. And Dopey responds, "I get what you mean, and yeah, it's true." Joey Blacktie says, "This might sound extreme, but I would say above anything else, keep screenshots of all your conversations with this girl, like forever. Whether or not you tell the guy, there is always the chance that this is the type of girl who won't let someone take her down without a fight. If you tell, you're going to ruin this fairy tale ending for her, and she might play dirty to save face. The story might magically go from "we hooked up while you were gone" to "he took advantage of me while I was high, I was just too ashamed to say anything." And depending on the guy, that can make things even worse. Like way worse. I know a guy who went to prison for a year for the exact same situation, all because the girl refused to own up to the fact that she cheated. One is the loneliest number says, "Congrats on the kid, I think. If she was humping you like a rabbit, she surely was less active with poor guy number 2. I hope so much for you that the kid isn't yours. That will make things way more complicated." Well, the community is basically saying two things. One, you gotta tell the other guy, it's the right thing to do. And two, get a paternity test to make sure that kid isn't yours, OP, because chances are it might be. Additionally, commenter number 2 gave OP some advice regarding taking care of himself just in case things go sideways, because he knew of a cautionary tale. Now, OP has given us 2 updates, so let's continue with number 1. Well, he knows. Told him the day before yesterday. I thought about telling her first, but I didn't want her to spin the story and make it seem like I'm the one who's a liar. I just texted him asking if we could meet up. He was already seeming weird that I asked him to meet up because I have never done that before. I still have all the texts we sent each other back then, and obviously he knows her number, so it doesn't seem like I faked them or something. He was pissed, like he wanted to punch me, but when it was all out there, he just said he can't talk right now and walked off. That was it. But she was blowing up my phone that night asking why I told him, because he broke off the engagement. On top of that, he's not replying to her, and I told her all I said was the truth. She came to my place crying about it. First, she was mad, but then she said she's sorry about everything, and she knows she had lied to me too when we were doing our thing. I asked her about the baby, but she claims she's not sure. They were already together around the time she got pregnant, but also she knows we were still having sex at that time too. She didn't know how to tell him, and he surprised her with the proposal when he found out about the pregnancy. Obviously, now he wants a paternity test, and I told her I need to know too. She asked me what I'm going to do if the baby's mine, and I said I'll be in its life. All she told me was, okay, good. And now we're seeing where we can get a paternity test done, since you guys said it's possible to do it before the baby is born. I'm nervous as F and just want to get this done so we know for sure if I'm about to be a father. I am mentally preparing for it to go either way. I'll be there 100% if it's mine. Not with her though. I'll just be there for my baby and help her however she needs. The stupidest thing to ever do is get in with someone just because they have a kid, like my parents. I always had it in my mind that I'll want kids someday, and if it's meant to happen now, then whatever, I'll take full responsibility for my kid. Also, I'm not making that same mistake of believing anything that comes out of her mouth again. My dad knows some good family lawyers. Once I get confirmation that the baby is mine, then I'll be making some calls. It's crazy when I think about it. Some of our friends texted me asking if it's true, so word got around already. I haven't heard anything from him, but it's only been a day. Still, at least the whole meeting could have gone worse. I feel better now that it's out there. Thanks for encouraging me to be honest. Oh, by the way, I don't know why this was a thing in the comments. I guess some people were just lacking reading comprehension because for some reason you were thinking he was my friend and had it in your heads that I was sleeping with a friend's ex. So just clarifying to those that for whatever reason thought I'm a piece of crap for breaking the friend code, lol, he's not my friend. The girl who may or may not be my baby mama is who I was friends with, not him. He was just the boyfriend of my friend. Wonder if people are still not gonna get it, lol. Thought it was pretty clear in my original post. Anyways, that's all the update I got for you right now. All there is left now is to find out if I'm gonna be a dad. Alright, OP did the right thing and the truth is out there. He told the guy that his fiancée, or now ex-fiancée, had been fooling around with him while they were in a long-distance relationship on his side, but definitely not on hers. And just in case, he did have the evidence to back it up. So, like OP says, now all there's left is to find out if OP is the father or not. What do you guys think? Is it OP's baby or not? Well, if you're curious, then stick with me and let's find out in the upcoming final update. I know y'all were eager for this one. We just found out a few days ago, but first I wanted time to process this info myself. I'm glad some of you mentioned the prenatal paternity test instead of having to wait the whole 9 months. They really like to clean out your wallet though, lol. Plus, paid extra to have the results expedited. Anyways, well, it's official. I'm going to be a dad. Part of me was like, no way, it's not possible. But I have the results with me. It's crazy. In a few months, there's going to be a little tiny human with my DNA out in the world. Like I said, I had to take a few days to process, reflect on what kind of father I want to be. Life stuff, you know? Changes I want to make. Also, now that we got confirmation, I've talked to a lawyer friend of my dad's who deals with child custody and other family stuff. He's really good, so I'm glad to have him to help me out with this whole process. I'm gonna be in my kid's life 100%, like I said, but that doesn't mean I want anything to do with her aside from co-parenting. She knows too, obviously, and I told her unless it's got to do with the baby, I don't really want contact. She told me she's sorry again for all this and let me know when she got her next appointment coming up. We haven't talked since. I'm preparing mentally though. Not the most ideal way to bring a life into the world, and not with this kind of person, but I'm gonna love that kid regardless. Just gotta set things up and go with the flow from there. Haven't heard anything from her ex. My buddy told me it seems like they are done, because he took down all their pictures together from his Instagram. It sucks. I've never been cheated on before. I don't know if I should count this since we weren't ever technically together, except I was lied to. Especially with someone I was going to marry, so I'm pretty sure it's painful. Anyways, for right now, I'm gonna do what I gotta do. Prepare for my kid. Figure out how we can work out as co-parents. I'm happy to have a good lawyer to help me out in case she decides to make crap difficult, but it doesn't seem like it. You never know though. Wish me luck. And any dads out there, I'd really appreciate some advice. Whatever you got. And that's it. That's all we know. OP is the dad and he's now preparing to become one. From what he tells us, he's not looking to have a relationship with her apart from being co-parents to the baby. So that's a good thing. At least the kid is going to be taken care of with a dad that's present and a mom that's there as well, as far as we know. So all that I would say to OP is, OP, just make sure that you're in your kid's life like you're already planning to and build from there. So on that note, congratulations OP and all the best in your new adventure. Take care. And now we move on to the next post. This post is from the subreddit Bridezilla and it's from user Daenerys Stormborn 31. Couplezilla story. My husband was asked to be the best man at his friend's wedding. The couple decided to not get married for 2 years, so they had time to plan their dream wedding and save for their honeymoon to an expensive location. That's cool, to each his own. The planning process was a nightmare. Several friends had dropped from even attending the wedding due to the bride's awful attitude and the groom's sense of entitlement. About 6 months before the wedding, the groom asked my husband about the bachelor party. My husband told the groom that he and the other groomsmen would get a limo and do a bar crawl, with some adult entertainment at a great spot close to home. The groom said nothing. The following day, the bride sent a group text to all groomsmen, ripping them a new a-hole, that they're effing useless and she can't believe she's doing their job for them. She said that they've had 2 years to plan and save, and the bachelor party needed to consist of at least a 3-day weekend in Vegas, renting a suite at Caesar's Palace and treating the groom like a king and footing the entire bill. I should note, The Hangover was a really popular movie at the time. My husband texted the bride outside of the group text and told her that some life issues had come up and we couldn't afford an extravagant weekend in Vegas, but the bar crawl would be great and the groom would surely have a good time. Not good enough. She texted paragraphs about how our money problems were not her problem, and if he couldn't do this, they would find another best man who would. My husband, never one to hold his tongue, let alone have a filter, said to her, "Why would I spend all this money? You'll be divorced in 2 years." He was Jazzy Jeffed out of the wedding party and we were uninvited. The groom ended up having 2 bachelor parties, one in Vegas, the other in Montreal, with 2 people in attendance at each. The happy couple filed for divorce 23 months after they were married. Well, OP, your husband was not wrong. Even a little bit over the due date. He said 2 years, 23 months, pretty close enough though. And what a fantastic way to lose friends. If you can't spend money on me, then we're not friends anymore. Fine, we're not friends anymore, you jackass. And it's that time that we've reached the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed today's stories. I certainly did reading them to you. So if you did, then go ahead and give the video a like, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and become a member of our Discord community that just keeps growing and it is fantastic. And like I said in the beginning of the video, all of the relevant links are in the video description below, so be sure to check them out. And finally, I'd like to thank you all for taking the time to watch this video. It really does mean a lot to me that you guys enjoy this content, so thank you once again. And having said all that, I will see you guys in the next video.